welcome to the School of Potential. Hello, everybody. Today we are chatting about change. I think we all want some form of change. And so I want to really ask you this question is, why do you think people resist change, right? And so today we're going to dive into three main points, the top three reasons that people resist change, and how you can use these points to get out of your way when it comes to creating change in your life. So why don't we start off with point number one?
So point number one is people don't resist change. They resist being changed. Change is an internal process. It has to come from within. If someone else is telling us to change, or the change is coming from an outside environment, we're not going to really want it. Therefore, it's going to be much harder to experience the results you desire.
Absolutely. I think back to when I was experiencing a tremendous amount of anxiety and waking up in the morning, and this was going on day after day, month after month, year after year, basically. And honestly, I think my parents were getting kind of sick of it. They could see the potential within me. They could see that I could do more than I was saying I was. I was using my anxiety as an excuse to get out of everything. And they so desired me to create some kind of a change. Now, they weren't forceful at all, but looking back, I knew that they really wanted me to change. But you see, I didn't. I was so locked into the way I was and identifying with the way I was operating, the false belief systems in my mind, that I didn't think change was possible for me. And I just felt so comfortable with where I was and what I was experiencing that I really didn't want change. And so I resisted it anytime somebody shared with me maybe a better way. And I think, no, I can't do that. I'm just going to stay where I am. Hey, that was a big thing for me is I really resisted the change because it wasn't my decision. Now, when I got into personal growth and development and I started to be listening to people like Bob Proctor and many of our other mentors, it was like, wow, I'm capable of so much more. I started to understand who I was. I got into what I call the study of you. It's one of the best studies you will ever get into, is learning about this brilliance and magnificence that lies within you, your full potential. And I started to express that. It was my decision then to change. And you know what? All the walls came down. I truly got out of the way. I was the only person holding me back. When I realized that, everything began to change.
When change is internally driven, is much more likely to be long-term and sustainable.
Absolutely.
Which leads us to our second point, which is you have to want the growth more than you're comfortable with where you're at. Or in other words, you've got to create a desire of the good you want and have more energy and attention on that than you do with the fear of where you currently are.
Exactly, right. We often hear that in order to grow, in order to create change, you've got to get outside of your comfort zone. Right? Share below if you've ever heard that before. In order to grow, you've got to step outside of the comfort zone. Hey, it's a big thing. Now, a lesson that I learned from one of our mentors, Douglas Vermeeren, and I think this is so incredible, is that it's not so much about getting outside of your comfort zone as it is getting into what he calls your brilliance zone. You may want to write that down. Don't get outside of your comfort zone. Get into your brilliance zone, right? It's not about stepping outside of the box. It's about stepping into the right box, right? This is going to do wonders for you because now you're tapping into something that you really want. Now, this leads us into point number three, that for the top three reasons people resist change, and that's that they really don't know what they want, right? Years ago, if I was walking down the street and somebody asked me, Nick, what do you really want? There's not a chance that I could articulate that. They're like, well, I guess I want this or that. It was very shallow things, and it wasn't really what I wanted.
But I'm sure you knew what you didn't want.
Exactly, right? I knew I didn't want to be anxious. I knew I didn't want to have these anxiety attacks. I knew that I didn't want to be in the career I was in. I knew all that.
But the fear of all of that was holding you back, and there wasn't much of a desire to push you forward.
Exactly, right? So let's kind of sum up these 3 points here. Number one, people don't resist change. They resist being changed. Number two, the comfort is usually greater for people. The comfort for where they are is greater for them than the desire for growth. And number three is they really don't know what they want. Now, if you can start to understand these and leverage each of these points, you're going to notice that change begins to take place in your life. And the coolest part is that it's very natural. It's your decision. It's along the lines of what you really want. No one else is influencing you. You are operating from the inside out rather than from the outside in.
And isn't that just a beautiful thing?
Yeah.
Things just start to expand and grow. So with that being said, just to leave you with some closing points here, always remember a closed mind cannot accept new ideas. You need to open your mind, reevaluate your beliefs, and be in order to accept change into your life.
Exactly. And a really big point too is that if you own it, right? If there's a negative condition or circumstance or result going on in your life right now, and you own it, you take responsibility for it, you can change it. You can change it, right? But it all takes place with that responsibility. Stephen Covey says responsibility is your ability to respond.
And also start with small things. It doesn't have to be massive step every day, but just simply evaluating maybe some words or thought patterns could be a small start to massive change in your life.
Exactly. It's the small things. Hey, step by step is going to lead you to greatness. And one day you're going to wake up in an entirely different world and you're going to think, where did the old me go?
And it's because you decided to make a change and you started.
Yeah, people are always saying, when's my big break going to come? When's the change going to take place? And I say, when you decide it's going to take place, you're in control, you're in the driver's seat. And as you make that decision, you're going to notice this magnificence begin to express with and through you and affect every aspect of your life. It is going to improve everything because a win in one area is a win in all areas, right? So I want you to go out there today, make it your mission to really expand your mind, open your mind up, accept new ideas, question your beliefs, and express and unleash the magnificence that lies within you. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.